Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, just want to talk some boxing with y'all real quick. Just some thoughts, coming across my mind once again, about an up-and-coming welterweight that everybody needs to look out for, Jaron Ennis. And a couple of weeks ago, as y'all know, a few weekends ago now, he went in there against Sergey Lipinets, a seasoned fighter. And he went in there, pretty much dominated. And he was able to knock Sergey Lipinets out cold. I'm not talking about stoppage. I'm talking about he knocked him out cold. Just went in there, did whatever he wanted to do. Box, punch, fight in the pocket. Just switch orthodox to southpaw. He showcased a lot of skills in this fight against Sergey Lipinets. And after the fight, it seems like, it just seems like so many more doors opened up for him. So many opportunities just been opening up. And one of the things, I was just kind of thinking to myself right now when to ask y'all is, Jaron Ennis, like, how much of a threat do you see him being in the welterweight division? Or let's put it this way. Do you see him as a potential threat for the champions, the current champions, Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford? Well, for me, I definitely see him as a potential threat. I definitely do. The kid is only 23 years old. He's still developing. And right now, he has a heart that he has a heart of a lion right now. He wants to face anybody, anytime, any place, anywhere. That's Jaron Ennis' mind frame right now, which is very dangerous. All these young fighters, all these older fighters and experienced fighters, they have to take notice that this guy's on the rise. And right now, with the moves he's making, I have to give him a lot of credit. All the moves he's making is the correct way you want to do as far as getting to that, getting closer to a strap opportunity. I think that Jaron Ennis, he's graduating with each level. Now, other question is, do I think he's ready for the champions right now? Do I think he should go in there against Spence and Crawford? If, they were to acknowledge a call out right now in the next fight? No, definitely not. Again, he's only 23 years old. No need to rush. No need to rush the kid right now. I think he's speaking with the right mind frame as far as, building himself up and letting you know what he wants to go for. What's his goal? So if he was to go in there right now, it would be a different story. But I'm just saying, like, if he's to continue to graduate the tiers like he's doing, that's fine. I think he's doing it the right way. He's moved up in each fight. He's fought he almost fought a common opponent, Errol Spence, with the last fighter he fought, but that ended in no contest. So he jumps in there with a much more decorated champion and a former champion in Sergey Lipinets. Disposes of him in 6 rounds, showcases every bit of skill he has, not every bit, but, a lot of skills, which means he has more in the, in the tank. But that's just the next level. So we want to see him in there with maybe some more former champions, which I'll talk about in another video. I'd like to see him in there fight Keith Thurman. Keith one-time Thurman, maybe even a Jose Zito Lopez, just to really put his name out there, go in there and beat some more common opponents. He beat a common opponent with Mikey Garcia and Sergey Lipinets. Who knows, Mikey Garcia, that could be a fight. I don't think Mikey Garcia would want that fight. It seems like a lot of guys are kind of ducking him. I don't think Virgil Ortiz wants that fight right now. So with the moves he's making in the fighters that don't seem to want to take him, you can definitely see that he is a potential threat for the champions. And all these other guys, they see that. Because right now, Jaron Ennis, I think he acknowledged when somebody asked him if he wanted to fight somebody, Keith Thurman, he acknowledged that fight, which, again, that would be a good fight for him. That'd be a former unified champion that doesn't necessarily have his foot in the mix with the champions anymore. He wants to, get back in there and build himself back up after a 2-year layoff. What better way to do that against a 23-year-old young lion and Jaron Ennis? But with the way he's looking, I don't think a Keith Thurman would want that fight, honestly. I don't really think a Keith Thurman would want to take that risk. So, again, that really spells potential threat for the champions because they see something in him. And I see something in him. I see something familiar like I did in Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, years back when I first seen them hit the scene. I was like, these guys have something. Jaron Ennis, not only does he have the fundamentals down, but he makes the fundamentals his, and that's what you got to do. You can't be a basic boxer to rise to the top. You can't be a basic boxer. You got to take the fundamentals and make them your own. And you got to have work ethic. And that's something I see in Boots. He's always training. He's always letting you know that he's trying to get better and better. and he wants to advance. You know, he wants to better himself by taking better competition. Let's put it that way. He wants to better himself by fighting the best. And that's the only way you're going to get better, by fighting the best fighters. So with the moves he's making, I can definitely say he could be a potential threat for these guys, because let's say when he does develop, you know, more so into that athletic style of his mixed with the technique, I could see him similar to being like, not necessarily in the same way like a Roy Jones Jr., but let's go back to the period like early 90s, mid 90s, when Roy was, you know, dominating with that speed and athleticism. Roy, he could dominate like the best technical fighters, like the best technicians. You know, like one of my favorite fighters, James Toney, favorite fighters of all time, James Toney. Another favorite fighter, Bernard Hopkins. These guys have that timeless, skill. But when it came to that freakishly, you know, unorthodox style, that awkward style, like Roy Jones Jr., he was able to outclass these guys. That might be the similar play out when Jaron Ennis rises to the occasion and he levels up. When he gets to, you know, a certain level where he's ready to go, like 25, 26, you know, he might be that type of guy that could fluster these guys with speed, power, and technique and be able to beat them. You know, and that's only if he's able to develop himself into the fighter that I think he's going to be. You know, so yeah, he could be that potential threat. You know, he could be that Roy in this case, and Spence and Crawford could be that Toney and Hopkins, where they might not necessarily get beat up or dominated, but they might be in there with something that they just never seen before, if that makes sense. You know, so Jaron Ennis, he definitely has that in him. That's why I do see that potential threat to the champions if he moves the way I think he can move and he continues to just graduate. Like I said, he could be that guy. Like, not necessarily like Roy Jones Jr., but in that similar fashion, you know, with that youth, athleticism, and unorthodox styles, you know, switching from southpaw to orthodox. You know, I think that could give those guys trouble. But yeah, man, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Jaron Ennis, is he a potential threat to the champions to y'all? Let me know in the comment section. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.